Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. This week, she repeatedly called for a national divorce.
There is no national divorce on the horizon right now.
I believe that the best pushback is a national renewal, not a national divorce.
The last time Southerners like Marge proposed a national divorce, it was because they were holding 4 million African Americans hostage as slaves, and they didn't want to let them go.
Everyone's talking about this national divorce stuff, which I love. Why do I love it? Because it's spicy, brings out emotions in people. I don't mind where people fall on the issue, but it's not a topic that's going away. Everyone knows my thoughts on it. The more we get divided as a nation, the more this is going to be brought up. People who hate each other shouldn't be living together, and it creates emotions in people one way or the other, and therefore, I love it. Joining me now, my buddy Mike Cernovich, creator of Hoaxed, which, by the way, you want to talk about something that has aged really well, you really need to go watch Hoaxed, because we talk all the time about the narrative, how they construct this false narrative for you. Do you want to hear how they do it? Great example. Go watch that. All right, Mike, national divorce. Everyone's talking about it all of a sudden right away. First of all, why is everyone talking about it, Mike? Why does this subject seem to keep coming up more and more now?
I think the real reason is because Democrats are invading Republican strongholds. That's what prompted this. If you notice, when this conversation started really getting heated was when Democrats destroyed their own states and then they fled to Republican states. So, for example, you can go to Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas, Idaho, and you'll see bumper stickers, "Keep your California in California." So we have a problem here where Democrats are saying that how dare Republicans want a national divorce, but hold on a second. 500,000 people left New York. 500,000 people at least left California. There's a real problem going on where Democrats are having a divorce from other Democrats. They're fleeing like refugees into new countries. And these red countries are saying, well, we'll welcome you. We welcome the refugee. But then you realize, wait a minute, these are bad actors because they're trying to vote in the policies that they fled. That's the problem here. Look what's happening in the Carolinas. Look what's happening anywhere. It was red, bro. It was red. They're invading. The Democrats are invading peace-loving Republican safe areas and trying to destroy them. Unconsciously or consciously, we don't really know. And that's why people are having this conversation. But this conversation would not have been happening if Democrats had stayed in the states that they destroyed, right? They wouldn't have any problem. Because I'll give you an example. I live in California. How often, Jesse, I'm not saying you read my Twitter that closely, but how often do I complain about California? Not much. I live here. It's not perfect. I don't have any delusions that we're going to elect a Republican governor. Every time I have an event, I have to be the buzzkill because people go, well, when are we taking back California? And I say, well, never. You want to keep those Republican seats because Congress is so close, but we're not. We live here. So you don't hear me complaining all that much because, of course, I could just leave. And what's happening, though, is people are leaving, the blue people are leaving, going to the red states, and then saying, oh, God, we got to reform these backwoods hillbillies, right?
Mike, can you explain? I find that so fascinating because it's so true. Explain that mentality for me. Because, look, I understand. Look, I'm human like everyone else. I'm the last person I want to blame for my problems, of course. That's just human nature. But if I'm a Democrat and I go to the polls my whole life and Democrat, and one day I look around me and they've managed to tear up a paradise like California, which, gosh, it is freaking paradise. And it was so bad that I felt I had to move. How could they don't ever look in the mirror? Nobody goes to the mirror and says, man, maybe I've been voting the wrong way. That never happens?
My brother, here's what I've learned from my life doing mindset work, life working on myself, trying to become a better person. Change is hard. And most people don't even want to accept that they need to change. So there's a line from a hippy-dippy guy, Terrence McKenna, who's very, very woo-woo. And he said, culture is your operating system. And I think about that a lot. You want to think about that in terms of mindset because you think, well, wait a minute, why do I have beliefs that are holding me back? And then you want to unwind and unravel those beliefs that are holding you back. But if you look at it culture-wide, when people move to America, they've been implanted and programmed with the culture. The same thing as people who lived in these Democrat areas. They've been indoctrinated and they have a culture, and that's who they're going to be. They're like robots at that point. We're all in a way, we've been programmed by society or other forces, and we're often not conscious of that. And then the mindset work, the inner work is saying, wait a minute, it doesn't make sense that you talk about this a lot with all this false Christianity. You're just like, it doesn't make sense that somebody who would crucify Jesus is telling me as a Christian how I need to live. This is just moronic. But other people who've been indoctrinated in these fake churches, they don't even understand that. They can't even make that realization because the programming is so strong that they've never unraveled it or examined it. So Democrats don't say, you know what, I voted for all this bad policies. This is a problem, I'm going to leave. I can tell you, brother, this happens with my in-laws. Good people, we have a good relationship. Occasionally, I never talk politics in real life, and occasionally people poke the bear. And when you poke the bear, I just say, you vote for Democrats, but you live in Republican areas. You don't want to go to Los Angeles. You don't want to be around there. Everything you vote for is Republican. No, and then, of course, they have a litany of excuses. They never say, you know what, that's a great point. You're right. Maybe we should be voting Republican. And then, of course, where Republicans go wrong is Republicans have conversations with people who talk like my in-laws, and they go, oh, yeah, I mean, if we just change one thing, Cerno's in-laws are going to vote for Nikki Haley. They will never vote for you. They will never. And I think that's another problem that has infected the right and the conservative. They're never going to vote for us. I like Eric Weinstein a lot. He is never going to vote for you. Do not take political advice from these people. You can break bread with them. You can talk to them. You can try to find areas of mutual interest. The Weinstein brothers, they're never going to vote for a Republican. Joe Rogan is never going to admit that he's going to vote for a Republican. He's never going to. Do not. So we have our people now going, oh, Woody Harrelson said something 3 years after everybody else was. Woo, let's elevate him now. He's not going to vote for you. Who gives a crap? Who cares? So we, even in our own people, right, our own red tribe, these people have that programming too, where they think, oh, we just got to make one more point. We'll do the platinum plan, and then we're going to win this vote. You're not. We've tried it all. You're not going to. You're actually going to win the vote by running on issues that get your voters to turn out. And as obvious as that seems, it's not something that people want to do.
Gosh, it's so true. Mike, thank you, my brother. Come back soon.
My pleasure.